Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Anatomy and Physiology. This is our first video in the series. It's going to be a little introductory video just so you know what to expect this year. But before we get into it, two quick disclaimers. First off, I'm filming this in June of 2020. So if you're watching this like way in the distant future, uh, hello from the past. How's it going? But if I say anything different or if I look different in class than I do now, that's the reason why. Right? Gap of time. Second disclaimer is I'm doing this a little bit out of order. I actually started filming these videos in the fourth quarter of the previous year, so kind of jumping around a bit. But this is in order the first video that you should be watching. So let's jump into our preview of class. So introduction to anatomy and physiology. What is this class? What is anatomy? Anatomy is the branch of science that deals with the structure of body parts, which means we are talking about their forms and how they're organized, how the different body parts look, how they interconnect with each other. So, like in this picture, we see that there are muscles, we see that there are bones. We are going to know what these bones are called. We're going to be able to know name them from their look of them. Physiology deals with the functions of those body parts, what they do and how they do it. All right. So anatomy and physiology are two different things. Say it a bit easier, anatomy is what things look like, physiology is what they do. And we have to teach these two things together. Right? This is why this class is anatomy and physiology, because they go hand in hand. Physiology depends on anatomy. In other words, since physiology is the function and anatomy is the shape, then the function of the body parts depends on the shape of the body parts, right? Your body parts have a specific design in order to do the job. You got certain bones that are shaped to interlock in certain ways in order to make joints so that they can bend and twist. You have muscles that are made of strings that shorten so they can pull on the bones. Shortening is called contracting, by the way. The muscles contract to pull on the bones and give you movement. So the shape of that muscle and the shape of the bones is what creates the function of those muscles and bones. So let's go into organization. We're going to start small and work our way up. Biology, and by the way, anatomy and physiology is a type of biology, right? The biology class. So we are starting with the chemicals of the body, going all the way down here, atoms and molecules, right? Different atoms on the periodic table, we know them as elements, so they're just atoms. You put them together and you are going to get molecules. Those molecules are going to affect your body in different ways. That's called biochemistry. It's a very important thing for how your body works. And then you get those molecules together in specific organizations and you get cells. That's right. That's what all a cell is a whole bunch of molecules in a bunch of very specific order and interconnections to build this structure. And this is the cell that you would have looked at in Bio 1. If you're in my class now, you hopefully have already gone through Bio 1 and have seen a cell like this. Well, what we're going to learn this year is that the cells do not all actually look like this. This is a basic cell. For anatomy physiology, we are going to care about what the cell actually looks like because their shape determines their function, right? So we're going to see different cells. We're going to see skin cells, which the little circle right here, that's one skin cell, and the dark splotch in the middle is going to be the nucleus, and another skin cell, another skin cell. There's a whole bunch of skin cells here. We're going to see liver cells, which actually looks more like the Bio 1 cell you're used to looking at. Right, a whole bunch of liver cells here. Nerve cells are a bit different. Again, the Bio 1 cell, but then with extra things, extra structures in order to do a job. And we're going to talk all about that. When we get a bunch of these cells together, we are going to get what we call tissues, groups of similar cells with similar functions. Take a look here. We have a bunch of skin cells that make up a skin tissue. And yes, your skin actually has different sections, different parts, different tissues. A great example right now is you look at your hand, right, and you can actually see probably two different color skins between the back of your hand and the palm of your hand, especially if you have a darker skin tone. You can see this much easier. And the reason For this is because the back of your hand and the palm of your hand are two different skin tissues designed differently for different reasons, right? The palm of your hand is much, much thicker because you're grabbing things, but that gives it a lot less room for the melanin, which is the color. So you actually have a color difference there. Then we got muscle tissues made up of different muscle cells, nerve tissues made of nerve cells, and a whole bunch of different connective tissues. We are going to get into all of these things. And then you get a bunch of those tissues together, you get an organ, a structure that serves a function. So heart, which by the way is a muscle, so it is made of muscle cells, so it has muscle tissues, and these different muscle tissues make up the heart. Same thing with the liver. You can see different sections of the liver because there's different tissues making up the one organ. Lungs, again, muscles, bones, all have different tissues joined together. And then if you get all these organs together, you get what we call an organ system. And that is the meat of this year. All right, we are going to go into each organ system and we are going to talk about the different organs in that organ system and maybe even the different tissues involved, different cells involved. But the organ system is the big thing. So for instance, the muscular system made up of a bunch of individual muscle organs. Your bicep is one organ made of two major tissues, actually. Deltoids are a different muscle organ. You got all these different muscle organs make up the muscle system. Each bone in the skeletal system is going to be an organ. Get all your bones together and you have the skeletal system. You get the nervous system made of different nerve organs, so on and so forth. You know, circulatory system, respiratory system, digestive system, urinary system, and reproductive system. We will be covering these things this year. And then if you get all of those organ systems together, you create one organism. And since we are talking about human anatomy physiology, that's what I'm focusing on. The organism is going to be a human being, you, right? You are the subject of this class, right? It's not like biology where it feels so distant because we're talking about things on the cellular level and it seems like a whole different world. No, we are talking about your body and your organ systems. So congratulations, this is you, the class. So with that said, welcome to my class. Hopefully we'll have a good time and keep a lookout for the next video. We will be going into the vocabulary for our first chapter. Good luck.